Things are starting to wake up for springtime here on the farm. The days are getting longer, the temperatures are getting warmer, and everything is starting to green up. This is the time of year that new life is born on the farm. We're looking forward to getting our first batch of meat chicks here very soon. And then we're having baby calves be born as well. As a mom and also a farmer, every new season brings on a new rhythm. I had to find that rhythm and figure out what works well for me and the kids and getting all these chores done. So far, we don't have a lot of extra chores for it being springtime. We still just have our laying hens and our main cattle herd, but things are going to start changing very quickly. Last week, I shared with you guys all the things that we do in early spring to set us up for a successful year. And even though we aren't grazing our cattle yet and we haven't got the meat chickens or the pigs yet, all that is coming very soon. So there's just a lot of projects to be done around the farm. This time of year, we have a lot of animals just pinned up because all of our pastures are starting to green up, so we don't want them out there grazing before the grass is ready for them. So this morning, I'm just getting out and feeding everything and doing all these little chores right here around the barn. It won't be long and we will be able to start grazing our cattle. So we rotationally graze our cattle all spring and summer long. The reason we don't have them on any grass right now is because of how muddy it is and how tender the new grass is. We just needed to have some time to really grow and be ready for the season ahead. March is kind of a tough month for cattle. There is just so much mud and wind. The weather is always changing as we shift into the new spring and summer seasons. Here on our farm, we also sell beef to local customers, and I do a little bit of online shipping as well. Our beef is ready for harvest twice a year, so we have beef going to harvest right now in the springtime, and then we'll have another group going in the fall. So this is that other group, and we start to get them ready in the springtime on feed and their finishing diet, so that way they are ready for harvest and ready to fill local customers' freezers this coming fall. March is always that shift month when you can start to feel the warmer temperatures, you can see the grass growing, but everything just isn't quite ready yet. We're still feeding a lot of hay here on the farm, and the animals are just wanting to get out and get a taste of that fresh spring grass, but we just have to hold them off a little bit longer. Spring is here and we are looking forward to gardening season. One of the big goals that we have for this year is to preserve enough of our crops from this summer and fall to carry us through the winter months. Freezing vegetables is one of the main ways that I save our garden harvest. So a good, reliable vacuum sealer is a must, which is why I am really excited for the sponsor of this week's video, and that is Fresco Vacuum Sealer. What is unique about the Fresco Automax V2 vacuum sealer is that it seals automatically. So you just insert your bag, wait a minute, and the job is done. This sealer can also be used on wetter foods using the pulse vac function, which will be very helpful this summer when I'm preserving my zucchini and squash. That is something that I always had trouble with before. The Fresco sealer preserves up to 8 times longer, and that is because it seals much wider and tighter than single line sealers, which is what my old vacuum sealer used to do. But this vacuum sealer seals it much tighter, preventing leakage, which also helps the food last much longer in the freezer. My sister recently loaned me her fry cutter because I had a bunch of potatoes that I was needing to use up. So I decided to cut them into French fries and then blanch them and freeze them for later use. The Fresco sealer made it so easy to vacuum pack the French fries for the freezer. Its automatic features like the self-locking lid made it so easy to do this. There was no pressing and holding or trying different buttons. I just place the bag on the green line and it automatically seals, preserving freshness. I have been so happy with my Fresco sealer, and I have really looked forward to using it more this summer and fall as I bring in fresh vegetables from the garden. It's going to be so nice to have some really well preserved vegetables in my freezer for the winter months. There are just so many reasons to have a good and reliable vacuum sealer on hand, whether you're using it for your garden harvest like I am, food prep, or just general food storage. And right now, Fresco Sealers is offering an exclusive discount on the Automax V2 sealer, making this sealer below $35, which is such a great deal. Visit the link in my description to purchase your sealer today. Thank you so much to Fresco Sealers for sponsoring this week's video. This week, I want to take you guys along for another simple week in the country as I just go about finding my new rhythm for this season. I want to shift my menu plan into more of a light and springtime meals. The chickens are laying so many eggs, so I'm going to start focusing breakfasts on using up that abundance. I want to get some plants going for our summer garden. And we have baby calves being born, so there's just so many chores and different things going on around the farm this week, and I thought it would be fun to take you guys along as I go about doing some of these tasks and learning this new rhythm for the springtime. What I'm making here this morning is puff pancakes. I have tried these before and they always turn out so good, but this morning I wanted to do them with all fresh milled flour. The hardest thing for me with puff pancakes is you're not supposed to open the oven to check on them because that can let the air out and then they'll lose their fluffiness. So I always had to kind of guess, and I think I overcooked it a little bit this morning. I went a little longer because of the fresh milled flour. Next time I know to probably cut that oven time down just a tad. Topped it with a little bit of fruit sauce. This was a great way to pack a bunch of eggs and make a healthy breakfast, something that both the kids will eat and enjoy. A while back, I shared a garden planning video, and one of my goals for this summer was to make my herb garden on my porch. I am getting some seeds going for that. So I had 8 trays and I picked out 7 different herbs. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant a herb in each tray, which I realize is, if they come up, is going to be way more than I need. But I'm experimenting with this and I haven't really started seeds before, so we'll see how this goes. I thought it would be really fun to get some plants going, and I ordered a really pretty raised bed that's going to be coming very soon, which I will share with you guys once it comes. I'm going to set it up on my porch and then have hopefully an herb garden that I can come back to all summer long as I'm cooking summer fresh meals and add a lot of these herbs to it. Since I have so many herbs that I started, assuming they come up and I don't have to go buy all the plants, I will probably put a lot of these extra herbs right out into the garden and then try harvesting and drying them to have some winter storage. In the spring and summer months, I definitely shift my meals to lighter meals, and as the seasons get busier, my meals get much simpler. Usually in the summertime, I pull out fresh vegetables from the garden and we have meat going on the smoker. But for today, I wanted to try some chicken parmesan. I wanted to make some homemade pasta and breadcrumbs, and the idea for this came because I did a double batch of sourdough and one of my loaves over fermented. I left one out on the counter and it was just totally flat, and I knew it would be when I baked it, but I decided to bake it anyways and then turn it into breadcrumbs. We still have some chicken in our freezer that we raised last fall, and we're getting ready to get our next batch of meat chickens to raise for this summer, but we're not going to have them ready for harvest and ready to restock our freezer until June. But we have been enjoying what is left of them, and I decided this evening to try a new recipe. I have not made chicken parmesan before, but to me it just seems like such a good springtime meal and a fresh new recipe to try. I am really looking forward to this change of seasons. I always love the new season coming on, and I'm usually ready to let go of the old season. Wintertime always gets a little bit long after the excitement of the holidays and settling into the new year. By about mid-February and early March, I am really looking for those warmer and sunnier days and greener pastures. Farm life is such a good reminder of embracing each season, but also adapting to change. Every new season brings on a new rhythm of life for me. In the winter time, outside chores are minimal, and the shorter days bring us inside much earlier, so we just naturally spend more time indoors. But as the days start to get longer and we start to get more animals here on the farm, like our meat chickens that we will raise on pasture during the summer months, we're going to be getting baby pigs here in about a month, and then we'll raise them all summer long. to sell to local customers this fall. Also, we'll have more baby calves being born, and we will let our cattle out on pastures, start rotationally grazing them, which will bring on a new chore for this season. So there will be a big shift in my chore routine every day. My entire schedule and rhythm of life from wintertime is starting to change, and I am starting to adapt to these longer days and more time outside. After the winter season, I am always eager to get back outside and spend most of those daylight hours outside enjoying the farm. Thankfully, the seasons change, and by the end of summer, I will be craving those shorter days again. But for now, I am excited for things to pick back up around here for springtime.